Hello student. Today we are going to discuss the all possible question answer for class 6 chapter 5 history NCERT book Kingdom, Kings and an Early Republic. So okay, let's start. As you see here in the third line, first paragraph, how did men become rulers in the past? So it's very interesting to know how did men becomes Raja or rulers. So what is you see here, around 3000 years ago, some men become recognized as Rajas by performing big sacrifices. This year is very important. That is 3000 years ago. In history, the date and year is very important. So remember, it is very important for your MCQ. See, here you can see then the Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice was one such rituals. Now the first question come from this paragraph is, what are Ashwamedha Yajna? What was Ashwamedha Yajna? So Ashya in Hindi and in English it is horse. So horse sacrifice was one of such rituals. So what is the ritual? A horse was let loose to wander freely and it was guarded by the Raja's men. If the horse wandered into the kingdom of other Rajas and they stopped it, they had to fight. If they allowed the horse to pass, it meant that they accepted that the Raja who wanted to perform the sacrifice was stronger than them. These Rajas were then invited to for the rituals or the performance. So this, which was performed by specially trained priests who were rewarded with gifts, and the Raja who organized the sacrifice was recognized as being very powerful, and all those who came brought gifts for him. The Raja was a central figure in these rituals, and he often had a special seat, a throne or a tiger skin. His charioteer, who was his companion in the battlefield and witnessed his exploits, chanted tales of his glory. His relatives, especially his wives and sons, had to perform a variety of minor rituals. I stop here because the first question comes is, write a short note about Ashwamedha Yajna or what was Ashwamedha Yajna. Then there are various questions from this paragraph. As you can see, who was the central figure in this ritual? Here you can see the line. The Raja was a central figure in these rituals. Underline this. This is a very important question and you get it, you definitely get it in the very short answer type question. Then the second is, who conducted the sacrifice rituals? Here you can see the Raja were invited to the sacrifice, which was performed by specially trained priests. So the sacrifice rituals was performed by trained priest. Remember, not to forget, write the word trained. It's very important. Okay. Then the third question comes from here. So what are the different roles of different people in this sacrifice? So from one paragraph or from one for the first page, you will get multiple questions. And the second question, what is the third question? What is this? Then what were the different roles of different people in the sacrifice? You can see the Rajas is a central figure. Other Rajas who were invited to the occasions or to the yajna, what is this? The role of them is the spectators. As a spectator, they watch the rituals. And the relatives, here you can see the relatives, the wives and the others are there for a minor. Here you can see that his relatives, especially his wives and son, had to perform the variety of minor rituals. What is the role of charioteer? The charioteer chanted tales of his glory. So the different person with different roles. So these things is a very important things, and you can get a 2 marks question from this paragraph. And always remember and write it as a point wise. Who did what? Exactly. And it is very important as well as Ashwamedha Yagya is a very important thing. So learn carefully. Then we move to the next paragraph or next page. See, the other rajas were simply spectator, I already told you, who had to sit and watch the performance of sacrifice. Priests performed the rituals, including the sprinkling of sacred water on the king. And the ordinary people, the Vish or Vaishya, also brought gifts. However, some people, such as those who were regarded as Shudras by the priest, were excluded from many rituals. As you know, the Vaishya, the Brahmin, the Shudras, these are different varnas or the different categories of societies. So Shudras are the lower categories, and that's why didn't for the pujas or for any rituals they were not invited. So Shudras are normally not participated in this section, but Vaishya means the business communities or the so they came and participate in those rituals, and to impress the king and to did business, they brought important gift or exclusive gifts for the king. Right? I hope you understand the all possible questions from this paragraph. Now see, in our box you will see the varnas. So what is the varnas, or what are the varnas? There were 4 social categories, namely Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. So Brahmins are expected to study the Vedas, perform sacrifice and receive gifts. Kshatriyas were expected to fight the battle and protect people. Vaishya were expected to the farmers, herders and traders, that's the business community. And the Shudras were expected to serve the other 3 groups. So when you get the question, like don't write Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras like this. Just write the role. Like Kshatriyas means those who fight the fight battles, protect peoples. Vaishya in brackets, those are farmer, herders and traders. Shudras that expected to serve the other 3 groups. If you write like this, the teacher will know that you know the categories and you get the full marks. Okay, then move to the next one, that is Janapadas. This is another important thing. So the Rajas who performed these big sacrifices were now recognized as being Rajas of Janapadas, means a locality or a big, rather than Janas. Janas means a head of the small community, and Janapada means literally it's a big land with the landlord. Big landlord with lots of people are there. So the words Janapada literally means the land where the Jana set its foot and settled down. Some important Janapadas are shown on the map. Map pointing is very important, and you can find the Magadha and all the important Janapadas. So practice the map pointing also. I will come that on later. So the first, what are the Janapadas, and then what are the Mahajanapadas? And you see here, here you can see the painted grey ware, plates and bowls are most common vessels. So this paragraph is also very important. Okay, so what is the question? That is what were the characteristics of earthen pot used by the people in the Janapadas? You will get your answer from here. So what, again I repeat the question, what were the characteristics of earthen pots used by the people of Janapadas? Okay, so this paragraph, read it carefully. Then come see, archaeologists have excavated a number of settlements in these Janapadas, such as Purana Killa in Delhi, Hastinapur near Mirar. Don't forget to write the example of Janapadas. Any one you can write. If you ask the question, what were the Janapadas or what were the Janapadas, you can write the Janapadas and write any of the name of the Janapadas. Okay, and see the Mirat and the Atra and Kera near Itha and in Uttar Pradesh. This is for very important for your MCQ question answer. See, the found that people lived in huts and kept cattle as well as other animals, and they also grew a variety of crops: rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, sesame, and mustard. Again, I came to this. They made earthen pots. Some of these were grey in color, others were red. One special type of pottery found at this site is known as painted greyware. So what was the characteristic? These are the characteristics, like grey in color, some are red, and the special type of pottery that is known as a painted greyware, and these grey pots had painted design, usually simple lines and geometric pattern. So in characteristics, when you write characteristics, then this line is very important. You know, you can write a color, it's a gray color or earthen pots and everything, but don't forget to write that each contains simple lines and geometric pattern. This is the main keywords of the question. Okay, see, here come the Mahajanapadas. So, and yes, one thing I forget, very sorry, you can get that. What are the agricultural change, or what you can see agriculture? What is this? That is, they grow variety of crops like rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, sesame, and mustard. This is also very important for your MCQ question. Okay, now I come to Mahajanapadas. What are the Mahajanapadas? About 2500 years ago, some Janapadas become more important than others and were known as Mahajanapadas. Some of these are shown on map. Okay, map pointing you can see here below. Most Mahajanapadas had a capital city. Many of these were fortified. This means that huge walls of wood, brick, or stone were built around them. Forts were probably built because people were afraid of attack from other kings and needed here protection. So it is also likely that some rulers wanted to show how rich and powerful they were by building really large, tall, and impressive walls around their cities. I stopped here because here the question comes that why did Rajas build large and tall walls around the cities? This is very, very important question. See, what is the need? As you see, the Mahajanapadas means it's a collection of Janapadas, and as they grow, the number of people increased, number of security, importance of security also increased. So, and the boundaries are also very important. So this area are for these rajas. So this is very important. So they built the huge wall to protect his Mahajanapadas and then to fortify his Janapadas. So he enriched by agriculture or whatever, the business, the agriculture, they enrich their Mahajanapadas. And what are the importance? There is a collection of Janapadas, so there is a one capital city where the Rajas live. It's normal, as you see, Delhi is the capital of India. Like this, there was a capital city. So every Mahajanapada had a capital city. Sometimes you get confused if Janapada had a capital city or Mahajanapada has a capital city. In true false, you can get this question. Always remember, Mahajanapada needs a capital city. And what is the importance of, you see, why did the Rajas build large and tall walls around the cities? Because wanted to show how rich and powerful they were. This is the first point. And second point, the builders cities for protection for the tall and impressive walls, so that the land and people living inside the fortified area could be controlled more easily by the king. Building such huge walls required a great deal of planning. Thousands, if not lakhs, bricks or stone had to be prepared, and this is done with enormous labor provided possibly by thousands of men, women, and children, and resources had to be found for all of this. So the requirement of, you can see, the requirement is very important. See the fortification wall, you can see the picture, why they build such a great wall. Okay, now moved here. The new Raja now began maintaining armies, soldiers. When you grow enough, then you need to be careful for your security, for everything. So that to protect the attack from the enemies or to protect the attack from the other Rajas, they now maintaining armies. Soldiers were paid regular salaries and maintained by the king throughout the year. Some payments were probably made using punchmark coin. See the Raja's face or anything coin is very important at that time. See, so these Rajas now maintaining armies. Now you can get a simple question: why there is need of maintaining armies? And you can get the answer is it is very easy answer. As you know, to protect. As they grow up, they need their protections, and to maintain the Janapadas, to control the Janapadas, they need to maintain army. Okay, then come to here. See the taxes. As the rulers of the Mahajanapadas were building huge forts, maintaining big armies. See, these two terms here you get: A, building huge forts; B, maintaining big armies. They needed more resources. So where they need taxes? Why they need to pay taxes, or why they need the taxes? Because to maintain these things, that is building huge forts, one, and two, the maintaining big armies. Individually you can get the questions: why they need to build a huge force, or why they need to maintain a big armies. Okay, now after that, why they need tax? They needed tax because of these two things. They have to maintain these two things. They need more resources, and they needed official to collect this. So instead of depending on occasional gifts brought on birthday of rajas, on the जो prince होता है उनके birthday पे, so that's what. So instead of depending on occasional gifts brought by people, as in the case of the rajas of Janapadas, they started collecting regular taxes. So what is the taxes? So what are the taxes? Here you can see the taxes on crops, taxes on craftsperson. See, the herders paid taxes as animals and animal produce, taxes on goods through trade, hunters and gatherers had to provide forest produce to the rajas. So why there are need of taxes? This is very important. And why but the taxes collected by the ruler of Mahajanapada? As they grow up, the number of people increase. They now have to maintain the soldier. So they need to pay everyone. So the amount of money is also increased. So they need to pay the taxes. And in which commodities the rajas took the taxes? Here you can see the point wise you can read the taxes on crops, taxes on craftsperson, herders paid the taxes, taxes on good, and hunters and other. So you have to read it carefully. Okay, then can I go down? See, changes in agriculture. When Mahajanapadas grows, the food is also played an important role for that. If there are no food, there are no people. The people can move from one place to another. So the need of agriculture is also very important. So there were two major changes in agriculture around this time. One was the growing use of iron plowshare. This means that heavy clay soil could be turned over better than with a wooden plowshare, so that more grain would be produced. Secondly, people began transplanting paddy. This meant that instead of scattering seed on the ground from which plants would sprout, saplings were grown and then planted in the field. This led to increased production as many more plants survived. So they properly started farming. So the first thing, the changes of agriculture. What are the changes of agriculture? So the instead of scattering seeds, there you can write as a 2 point, as you see here. 1 point, the first. What is your answer? That is, there were two major changes in agriculture around this time. These are following. One, that is the growing use of iron plowshare. This meant that heavy clay soil could be turned over better than with a wooden plowshare. So instead of using wooden, they moved to iron, so that the work become easier. And again, so number two, that more grain could be produced. Second, people been transplanting paddy. That is, instead of scattering seeds on the ground from which plants would sprout, saplings were grown and then planted in the fields. This led to increased production as many more plants survived. Then we move to the paragraph that is a closer look on Magadha. Magadha is a big Mahajanapada. As you see, the Magadha became the most important Mahajanapada in about 200 years, and many rivers such as the Ganga and Son flowed through Magadha. This Ganga river and Son river is very important for your map pointing, as well as Magadha. Okay, so this was important for transport, water supply, and making the land fertile. So why rivers are needed for Mahajanapada? If you get this question, your answer would be like Ganga and Son flowed through Magadha, as well as many rivers flowed with the Magadha. This was important for 1, transport, water supply, and 3, making the land fertile. Then the parts of Magadha were forested. Elephants which lived in the forest could be captured and trained for the army. Forests also provided wood for building houses, carts, chariots. Besides, there were iron ore mines in the region that could be tapped to make strong tools and weapons. So, for Magadha, to become a Mahajanapada, the role of rivers, the role of forest is very important. So you can prepare this separately, the role of forest, the role of rivers. Okay, and then Magadha had 2 very powerful rulers, Bimbisara and Ajatashatru, who used all possible means to conquer other Janapadas. They are very powerful and famous. Padmananda was another important ruler. This is important for an MCQ. So check the spelling of Ajatashatru and Bimbisara and Padmananda. Underline all this name and practice the spelling. He extended his controls up to the northwest part of the subcontinent. Rajagriha, present-day Rajgir in Bihar, was the capital of Magadha for several years. So what is the capital of Magadha? You have to write the past and present, both names, like this, Rajagriha or current Rajgir. So later the capital was shifted to Patliputra, that is the present day Patna. So what was the capital of Magadha? This is also a 1 marks question. You can go through this. Then more than 2,300 years ago, a ruler named Alexander, who lived in Macedonian Europe, wanted to become a world conqueror. And of course, he did not conquer the world, but did conquer parts of Egypt and West Asia, and came to Indian subcontinent, reaching up to banks of the Bias. And when he wanted to march further eastward, his soldiers refused. They were scared, as they had heard the rulers of India had a vast armies of foot soldiers, chariots, and elephants. Okay. So from the above paragraph, like the Magadha, what you can see, like the for Magadha, what is the role of the rivers and why Magadha grow, and what is the role of the forest. Okay, these are what were the geographical features that made Magadha the most powerful Mahajanapada. So why you'll see what are the geographical features that made Magadha the most powerful Mahajanapada. You have to read this. Okay. As you see here above, here you can see the more than 2,300 years ago, a ruler named Alexander, who lived in Macedonian Europe, wanted to become a world conqueror, as you all know about the Alexanders. So from here you get the question, where did Alexander live and why did he not attack on Magadha? See, here is the question, why did he not attack the Magadha? Because here is the answer, when he wanted to march further eastwards, his soldiers refused. So he wanted to attack or conquer, but he did not proceed. Here in this paragraph is your answer. See, we move below. Here you can see Kembhaji. While Magadha became a powerful kingdom, Vajji, which is capital at Vaishali. So what is the capital of Vajji? Is Vaishali. Was under the different form of government known as Gana or Sangha. So what is Gana or Sangha? You can get the answer. In a Gana or Sangha, where there were not one but many rulers, and each one was known as a Raja. And these Rajas perform rituals together. So here they stay here with unity. Like they perform rituals together, they met in assemblies and decided what they discussed all the things jointly. For example, if they were attacked by an enemy, they met to discuss what should be done to meet the threat. So that together they plan everything. So what is the difference between Magadha and Vaishali or Vajji? That is there in Magadha there were only one Raja, and in Vajji there are multiple Rajas, and where they stay together and plan everything together. See, this is an account of the Vajjis. Here in this box you can see this is an account of the Vajjis from the Digha Nikaya, a famous Buddhist book which contains some of the speeches of Buddha, and these were written down about 2300 years ago. Then what is Digha Nikaya? If you get the question, you have to write the answer like this. The Digha Nikaya is a famous Buddhist book which contains some of the speeches of Buddha, and these books were written down about 2300 years ago. This is your complete actions. And from this book we get information about Vajjis. In the next paragraph, as you see, Ajatashatru and the Vajjis. Ajatashatru wanted to conquer or attack the Vajjis because both of them are the Mahajanapadas. He sent his minister named Bhaswakara to the Buddha to get his advice on the matter. So Ajatashatru sent home to Buddha Bhaswakara. Underline and practice the spelling. The Buddha asked whether the Vajjis met frequently in full assemblies. When he heard that they did, he replied that the Vajjis would continue to prosper as long as, you see, the Buddha asked whether the Vajjis met frequently in full assemblies. When he heard that their unity, he heard about their unity, and he replied that Vajjis continue to prosper as long as they had full and frequent public assemblies. They met and acted together. They followed established rules. They respected, supported, and listened to the elders. Vajji women were not held by force or captures, and chaitas, that is local shrines, were maintained in both towns and villages, and wives sent who followed different beliefs were respected and allowed to enter and leave the country freely. So what is the reason for prosper or the growth of Vajjis? Here is the answer. You can see as they acted together, the unity that's why Vajjis become popular than Magadha. Okay, and see, in the what ways was the Vajji Sangha different from the other Mahajanapadas? The above are the reasons. In the above, because they are where the other Mahajanapadas contain one powerful Rajas, Vajjis have different lot of multiple Rajas, and they together take the decision. Raja of powerful kingdom tried to conquer the Sanghas. Nevertheless, this lasted for a very long time, till about 1500 years ago, when the last of Ganasa Sanghas were conquered by Gupta rulers. So the fighting are continued because each one wanted to become more powerful than others. So then the what came after that? The Gupta rulers came, and we will gradually study it later. Okay, I hope I will discuss all the possible question and answer of this chapter. If you find difficulties to any question or any answer, you can write it in the comment box. I will definitely try to give your answer. Okay, and if you think this will help your studies, please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching Bookmark.